March 2013, Nicosia, Cyprus. A man named Andreas stands outside Laiki Bank at 6:47 a.m. The ATM screen says his account balance is $87,000. He withdraws $400, the daily limit. By noon, the banks are closed by government order. By Monday morning, when they reopen, 47.5% of every deposit over $100,000 is gone. Not frozen, gone. Converted to worthless bank shares in a collapsing institution. The number that matters, $5.8 billion in deposits, vaporized to recapitalize the banks. Andreas lost $41,000 while he slept. He didn't make a bad investment, he didn't gamble, he had a checking account. This isn't fiction. This happened. I'm the kind of person who reads central bank balance sheets at midnight because I don't like being blindsided by predictable catastrophes. And here's what I've learned. When banks fail, the math doesn't disappear. It just moves. So here's the question that matters. How do banks and the governments that back them transfer their losses onto citizens who never agreed to the risk? By the end of this, you'll know the 5 things that hold value when the system cracks, the 2 things that get zeroed out first, and a simple watch list for seeing the transfer coming before it hits your account. You'll never look at a bank balance the same way again. Collapse looks chaotic from the outside. From the inside, it follows a script. Stage 1. The build-up. Banks lever up, governments run deficits, households borrow against appreciating assets. Everyone's balance sheet assumes tomorrow looks like today. Stage 2. The patch. When revenue falls short, central banks print, governments borrow, deposit insurance gets whispered about in speeches, the gap gets papered over. Stage 3. The crack. Withdrawals accelerate, liquidity dries up. You see it in ATM limits, longer approval times for wire transfers, sudden maintenance on banking apps during business hours. Stage 4. The flea. Smart money moves. Deposits migrate to foreign banks. Gold dealers can't keep inventory. Real estate in stable jurisdictions spikes. Stage 5. The formalization. The system doesn't collapse, it freezes. Capital controls, bail-ins, forced conversions. The loss gets distributed according to who has the least power to resist. Each stage has a tell, and the tell is always the same. Liquidity becomes selective. Case File 1. Cyprus, 2013. The overnight haircut. It's Saturday night. You're a depositor at Bank of Cyprus. Your money is insured up to $100,000 under EU rules, so you sleep fine. By Monday, the rules changed. The killer numbers. Deposits over $100,000. 47.5% confiscated. Total seized. $5.8 billion. Bank of Cyprus stock before crisis. 450 share. After 0.15 share. Time window. 72 hours over a weekend. The mechanism. Cypriot banks had gorged on Greek sovereign debt. When Greece restructured, Cypriot bank assets cratered. The ECB, IMF and EU offered a bailout, but only if Cyprus contributed by raiding its own depositors. It's called a bail-in. You don't rescue the bank with taxpayer money. You rescue it with depositor money, who got destroyed. Anyone with over $100,000 in a Cypriot bank. Retirees, small business owners, people who thought EU member state meant safety, who adapted. Those who moved money to German or Swiss banks in the weeks prior when whispers started. Those who held physical euros outside the system. Takeaway. Deposit insurance is a political promise, not a physical asset. It evaporates when the sovereign decides it must. Case File 2. Argentina, 2001. The Corralito. December 2001, Buenos Aires. The government announces El Corralito, the little fence. You can't withdraw more than 250 pesos per week from your bank account. Not because you're broke, because the banks are. The killer numbers. Peso to dollar peg, 1.1, official. Peso to dollar black market rate 6 months later. 4.1, purchasing power loss, 75%. Bank deposits frozen, $70 billion. Duration of hard capital controls, 12 months. The mechanism. Argentina pegged the peso to the dollar but kept printing pesos to fund deficits. Reserves bled out. When the run started, banks didn't have dollars to give back, so the government trapped deposits, then switched the peg. Your dollars became pesos. Your pesos became worth 25 cents. Who got destroyed? Middle-class savers in peso accounts. Anyone who trusted the 1.1 peg. Who adapted? Those who pulled cash early and bought dollars on the black market. Those who moved money offshore. Those who held hard assets. Land, cars, gold. Takeaway. A currency peg is a promise backed by reserves. When reserves run dry, the peg breaks, and your account balance breaks with it. Case File 3, Lebanon, 2019 present. The slow burn, Beirut, October 2019. Banks start limiting withdrawals. Officially, there are no capital controls. Unofficially, you can't access your money. The killer numbers: official exchange rate, 1,507 LBP per USD. Black market rate by 2023, 150,000 LBP per USD. Loss, 99% purchasing power. Deposits trapped, 100 plus billion. Time window, still ongoing. The mechanism: Lebanese banks lent heavily to the government. The government spent the money. Dollars stopped coming in. Banks couldn't honor withdrawals. Instead of declaring insolvency, they just stopped letting you withdraw. Your balance exists on a screen. In reality, it's gone. Who got destroyed? Everyone with lira savings. Everyone who believed Swiss of the Middle East marketing. Who adapted? Those with dual passports. Those who moved dollars out before 2019. Those who held gold, land, or foreign assets. Takeaway. When a bank can't pay you, it doesn't announce bankruptcy. It just slow walks your withdrawal until the currency collapses underneath you. Different decade, same skeleton. Let's talk about what actually holds value when the transfer begins. Survivor 1. Physical gold and silver. Why it survives. No counterparty risk. It's not a promise. It's an element. Proof: during Cyprus, gold shops in Nicosia ran out of inventory in 48 hours. In Argentina, 2001, gold priced in pesos rose 400%. In Lebanon, gold became the only reliable store of value. Limitation: can't eat it, hard to subdivide, can be confiscated if you're not careful. How people used it: small bars, jewelry, coins, sold incrementally for living expenses. Takeaway: gold doesn't care about your government's solvency. Survivor 2. Foreign hard currency, outside the system. Why it survives. If your local currency is collapsing, dollars or euros or Swiss francs held physically retain value. Proof: in Argentina, people who held cash dollars preserved wealth. In Lebanon, USD cash trades at premium over trapped USD in bank accounts. Limitation: must be physical, must be outside bank. Inflation still applies. How people used it: hidden at home, spent directly, traded on black markets. Takeaway: a dollar in your hand beats a dollar in a failing bank's database. Survivor 3. Productive equities, export earners, real output. Why it survives. If a company generates foreign revenue or produces actual goods, it survives currency collapse. Proof: Argentine farmland owners, oil exporters, Turkish companies with euro revenue, firms that earn hard currency and hold real assets. Limitation: must have foreign revenue or inflation-resistant output. Domestic-only companies get crushed. How people used it: held shares in multinationals, commodity producers, agricultural exporters. Takeaway: own the means of production, not the paper claim on a broke government.